Hey everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you about hockey. Well, not necessarily the game in and of itself so much, but the feelings that people have whenever that team, any team, could be a national team or a city team, wins a certain game, tournament, championship. So the recent events were, as you probably all know, those of you who, like me, don't really follow the Olympics and don't really care about what's going on there, you would have seen it from social, from Instagram, Facebook, etc. That our team has apparently won something. And by our team, I mean the Russian team. The Russian national team has won, is it Olympic gold or silver or bronze? I'm not sure, but they won a game, so apparently it was the last game. I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure, and it doesn't really matter. What matters is that, being genuinely happy and elated by just feeling happy and feeling joy by a certain sports team winning a certain game is, to me, it seems very strange, to be honest. And to me, it seems even stranger when it's a national team and when people are, feeling proud to be Russian, Belarusian, Ukrainian, American, whatever, just because a team has won, just because there is someone who hit the puck or the football hard enough and put it into scored a goal, a certain amount of times, which is more than the times that the opposing team has scored puck or football again. And for the love of God, I don't understand how does that constitute a nation's success at something. Every nation does it to a certain extent, but lately Russians seem to have excelled at it. They seem to have become obsessed at, just feeling a false sense of patriotic pride behind some athletes or some sports teams' success, to me, it seems that it's very harmful. And it doesn't really matter if you're proud about something that's just happened, like obviously the situation with the Olympic hockey, or something that's happened, 50 years ago. Like, half the Russian movie industry is probably geared towards, those propaganda flicks about the sports successes of Russian teams in the past, like this recent movie about basketball, movie Moving Up. I guess the translation will be Moving Upwards. I'm not so sure, to be honest. I've not watched that one, and like I said, to me it seems very harmful. Like, who the fuck really cares that 50 years ago Soviet athletes beat U.S. school children? Basically, they were not pros. They didn't play against the pros. So even sports-wise, this situation is not so interesting. But even if it were, I mean, like, who the fuck cares? How does it matter? It's one thing to be proud about things like literature and music and science, and the first nation to go into space. Like, if this happened, like, obviously long ago, like most Russian successes have, then maybe you should take a look at the calendar and just figure out when was the last thing that we did something great. But there are things like, being proud of sports, and that's on another level. That's even worse. And simple example of why that is so harmful would be like, say you're planning to, quit drinking. Say you want to go to the gym every day and every other day. But there's peer pressure. Then a Russian team wins Olympic hockey gold or whatnot, and your buddies are telling you, "Oh, come on, we gotta go drink a couple pints because the Russians have won, and we need to really celebrate it." So that is insane to me. Why would you need to celebrate it? Why would you even care? Full disclosure, I myself am a basketball fan. I mostly watch the NBA, and I'm not saying at this point, like, I know that people who hate sports. I don't hate sports at all. I think it's cool to play sports. I think it's cool to watch sports for like if it doesn't take up too much of your time, obviously. But I mean, I think it's cool to chill out and to relax, just lie on the couch with a beer and watch a game, whether it be football or basketball or hockey. It doesn't really matter. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but once it's over, hard as it may be, just move on with your life. Yeah, I mean, when you watch a movie, you're not going to be like genuinely happy because Superman or Batman beat all the bad guys, right? So, I mean, organized sports is basically just that. It's show business. It's big business. It's a show. There's nothing more to it. It doesn't in any way represent a nation's level of, prosperity or development or whatnot. And it's to me, it seems like a very harmful idea to be behind. And I've been seeing a lot of those shared posts on Facebook, of course, and some on Instagram. How people are genuinely happy. To me, this it's basically the same as being happy about Eurovision. I mean, at victory in Eurovision. I mean, at this point, this whole Olympics story, it's all just big business. It doesn't really matter. The success doesn't really constitute anything in and of itself. It doesn't really matter how good a team does or a country does overall for its country's level of prosperity. So yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be great if Instagram had a filter where you could disable, not unfollow specific people, but disable some kind of specific content that the people are sharing? Like, I don't want to see any more pictures of cats, or pictures of kids, or I don't want to see any more than like 3 selfies in a week by a certain individual, even if she's a very pretty lady. After a while, it gets repetitive and boring. And social is basically what it does is that it's providing, most of the times it's providing you too much information on somebody, and it's just making you hate people at the end of the day. And by the way, if you do track who follows you and who unfollows you, if you do see that I unfollowed you for some reason, it doesn't necessarily mean that that I think you're a bad person. Like, initially, I wouldn't follow you if I thought you were a bad person. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I think you are a bad person. It just means that the content you're sharing on a specific platform is irrelevant to me, and I do not want to I do not want to see it. I do not want to be a part of it. It doesn't mean I'm not interested in you as a person. It doesn't mean I think you are not interesting. It just means that the content that you're mostly sharing is that there is a lot of content out there that is more interesting to me than what you're sharing. And yeah, by all means, do the same to me. I don't really follow who follows or unfollows me. So I probably wouldn't even know if you unfollowed me. And it's really easy. It's just to tap and tap, and that's it. You don't have to see me ever again. Yeah, well, basically that's what all I wanted to say for that's all I wanted to speak about for this rant, and it's already very long. So peace out. Don't jerk off in front of everybody. Have fun.